On the news tonight, Oshibajo advocates stricter sanctions for unnecessary court adjustments and delays, says it is a waste of taxpayers' money. Human Rights Writers Association of Nigeria tells Inspector General of Police to disband police checkpoints in Southeast. Benue government says plan to access funds for immunization in the state is almost complete. Gbajabiamila says National Assembly remains committed to empowering young Nigerians. Good evening and welcome to News Round on Impact Africa Television, IATV. I am Toluwale K. Ali. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo has called for stricter sanctions for unnecessary delays and adjournments in court cases in Nigeria. He said there is no greater waste of taxpayers' funds than having a scheduled case adjourned. Osinbajo spoke at the 20th year Memorial Anniversary Symposium in honor of renowned legal practitioner Bankole Aluko. In a statement, Osinbajo said that addressing the delay in justice delivery should involve imposing sanctions by a more intentional administration for the award of adverse and wasted costs. The Vice President noted that certainty and predictability of judicial outcomes is one of the major strengths of the common law. He also said that the challenges affecting the administration of justice in Nigeria is being addressed, expressing hope for the positive reform of the system. A civil rights advocacy group, the Human Rights Writers Association of Nigeria, has called on the Inspector General of Police, Usman Baba, to dismantle roadblocks manned by police personnel in Imo, Enugu, Ebonyi, Abia, and Anambra states. In a statement today by its national coordinator, Emmanuel Umubiko, the group said the menace of illegal checkpoints by policemen and their constant extortion of Southeasterners must be checked. They argued that the presence of corrupt policemen on extortion spree has been responsible for the extrajudicial killings of drivers in many parts of Nigeria. The group also called for the investigation of illegal police killings of civilians and for the constitutional independence of the force to be maintained. The Benue State government has disclosed their plans to access a $3 million counterpart fund for immunization programs across the state is almost complete. The state governor, Samuel Otom, disclosed this while flagging off the polio outbreak response vaccination campaign in Makurdi, the state capital. He noted that his administration has already paid the sum of $100,000 counterpart fund to access the fund. He also added that the resources committed to polio eradication in the state is yielding positive results. According to a statement by the state's Commissioner for Health and Human Services, Joseph Mbia, the government is taking most of the programs of primary health care seriously in order to actualize the eradication of poliovirus and childhood killer diseases in the state. The governor urged parents to ensure that children under 5 years are vaccinated in the round of immunization. He also revealed that the government is putting modalities in place to recruit needed personnel in Benue's health sector. The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, has assured that the members of the 9th National Assembly are committed to ensuring that young Nigerians are empowered as a way of reducing poverty in the country. The Speaker said this at an empowerment outreach program where 1,020 laptops were given to teachers, 145 automobiles, including ambulances and cars and buses, were distributed, and financial support were given to 156 business owners in Surulere constituency. Gbajabiamila also said he is committed to enacting laws that will improve the lives of Nigerians. He noted that the country is blessed with a lot of young potentials, young women and men who have the capacity, knowledge, know-how, drive and sincerity of purpose, but do not yet have the endowment to thrive. Our former president, Olusegun Obasanjo, says Nigeria needs more rebels who speak the truth to power, not minding whose ox is God. This, he said, remains one of the greatest steps towards rebuilding Nigeria. He spoke in Abeokuta today while unveiling the autobiography of the Babanla Adini of Egbaland, Tayo Shounmi. The autobiography was unveiled as part of the celebration of the 80th birthday of Shounmi, a former activist and elder statesman. In his brief remarks, Obasanjo noted that for Nigeria to move forward, it requires more rebels who stand and speak for the truth. He added that whomever must live a life of honesty and integrity has to be a rebel.
Our country, Nigeria, needs more of rebels. Need more rebels. Those who will look at things straight in the face and say, this is not right. This is not on. This I will not be part of. This is not good for Nigeria.
Kidnappers, drug pushers, drug users, corrupt politicians, and treasury looters in the public and private sectors are products of families. Dysfunctional homes produce dysfunctional nations, but strong families are the units of a strong nation. The transference of a worthy legacy from value-driven parents to their offspring will result in value-driven societies. Second, we must embrace the redemptive value of culture. We must revive those aspects of culture that foster community spirit and nation building, mindful of the African proverb that says, it takes a village to raise a child.
A 2023 presidential aspirant, Senator Anyim Pius Anyim, has condemned the recent killing of traders at the new cattle market in Omuma Uzo, Okwa West local government area of Abia State, where 8 persons lost their lives. Anyim described the attack and killing of the traders as barbaric and condemnable. He lamented that the murders are trying to turn Nigerians against themselves by taking the lives of defenseless and innocent citizens pursuing their legitimate businesses. He also noted that the insecurity in the southeast and the country at large should be a matter of serious concern to every well-meaning Nigerian. Anyim, who is contesting the presidency of Nigeria on the platform of the People's Democratic Party (PDP), however, commended the government of Abia State for condemning the dastardly act in strong terms and promising to take steps to bring the perpetrators to justice. A group under the auspices of Ohaneze Ndigbo worldwide has commiserated with the Northern Muslim clerics, traditional rulers, and Arewa Consultative Forum over killings of their people in Abia State. In a statement signed by its Secretary General Okechukwu Isiguzoro, the group maintained that the Igbos will remain devoted in providing succor to the families and people affected by the sad event. The statement further added that those who carried out the conspiracies against humanity in the state are not Igbos, noting that the preliminary investigation revealed that they migrated from neighboring states and fled to their states after the attacks. The group also commended the Northern Elders Forum, Arewa Consultative Youth Forum, coalition of northern groups for their quick intervention to forestall possible breakdown of law and order. The Senate has condemned the frequent clash between bordering communities of Benue and Ebonyi states, which has led to the loss of lives. Moving the motion at plenary, the lawmaker representing Benue South, Abba Moro, decried the incessant clash between the Eza people of Benue State and the Effium people of Ebonyi State, even as he called for the urgent intervention of the Senate. Abba lamented that the feeling of comradeship among the border communities in both states no longer exists, as their ceaseless communal clashes result in killings and destruction of valuables worth hundreds of millions of naira. The Senate thereafter urged the National Boundary Commission to exercise its powers as enshrined under Section 7 of the National Boundary Commission Act to define and delineate boundaries between the Ezes and Effiums. A group under the platform of Grow Nigeria Youth Movement has made it clear that it wants the former Senate President to officially declare his interest in the presidency. The youths voiced out that they believe Saraki has all it takes to lead the country. They were received by the Kwara State Chairman of the People's Democratic Party, Babatunde Mohammed. Mohammed, who aligned with the youth, declared that it is the turn of the North Central geopolitical zone to produce the next president. The Minister of Works and Housing has chartered newly elected national executives of the Nigerian Institution of Mechanical Engineers to remain committed to promoting innovation for manufacturing and industrialization. He made the call during the investiture ceremony of the 15th National Chairman of the institution, Olufumilade Akingbagbo, in Abuja. The minister noted that engineering is the core of the foundation for industrialization, hence the need to encourage local manufacturers and provide easy access to materials. The newly elected national chairman, Akingbagbo, stated that the institution will collaborate with interested partners to run certification programs for young practicing engineers to foster continuous professionalism. She further noted that our tenure will reposition the institution for open international opportunities that will establish members in their field of specialization.
Therefore, I can only say that this is a challenging time to lead and a fantastically opportune time to forge an unforgettable legacy. Your contributions towards innovation for manufacturing and industrialization will help in no small way to increase our self-dependence and self-reliance regarding making what we need. It will be a critical building block in our journey towards achieving the goal of quote-unquote made in Nigeria. As you assume leadership of this institution, I wish to state that I see an office and I see a job.
In percentage of the number of engineers that will be bringing development to our country. A lot of our engineers are involved in politics now. They are building industrialization, but we want to encourage manufacturing. We want to encourage productivity. We want to encourage increase, especially in the preservation of the agricultural produce in Nigeria, because we have a lot of waste being recorded right now. And also in the oil and gas, there is a huge space in the area of underwater welding. We want to be able to combat that by creating the Welding Academy, which I've established today. We'll be building a welding academy that will be training young engineers in the area of underwater welding and welding especially so that we'll be able to grow that space.
That ministry should actually be reserved for engineers who will direct and make sure that young engineers, are encouraged, are put in places. Ordinary road repair, everything in this country is contracting. We can't live like that. Older engineers are not helping the young ones. For example, during youth service, no engineer should be sent to teach. They should be in industries. Of course, most of us have companies that can actually absorb these young, either youth service or young engineers, to absorb them, at least to mentor them. But the opportunities are not there. So I believe that we are not doing enough, including myself.
The governor of Zamfara State, Bello Mohammed Matawale, has inaugurated a 12-man Zamfara State Development Committee charged with the promulgation of a 25-year development plan for the state. The committee's terms of reference include taking ownership and responsibility in driving the state development plan to perform oversight function on the activities of the State Technical Committee and to serve as an intermediary between the State Technical Committee and the Executive Governor, among others. Inaugurating the committee, Governor Matawale said the decision to constitute and inaugurate the committee was born out of the government's desire to establish a scientific and policy-guided development strategy for the state. Similarly, the governor has inaugurated the state and local government projects monitoring committees saddled with the responsibilities of monitoring all projects at all levels.
The State Development Committee is expected at the end of its assignment to come up with taking into cognizance the importance of this document to the entire life of the state, we have carefully drawn the membership of the committee from different walks of life, and we believe that they are experts and could carry out the task up to the expectation. I urge you to consider this assignment as a self-assignment, which is decisive in determining the presence and the future development of our dear state. I therefore crave your indulgence to give the assignment an honest, holistic approach to that. At the end of the day, we have a reliable working roadmap that will guide our state developments.
Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has extended its efforts to get more eligible voters signed up in the ongoing voter registration in Ogun State. This is as the Commission visits major and popular markets across the state to afford citizens to register or transfer their registration to their nearest voting locations. INEC's voter education officer in Ogun State, Omolara Onobanjo, said the turnout is impressive as more eligible voters are now effectively utilizing the exercise. Onobanjo urged the people to support the electoral body in ensuring a each free election in 2023.
A ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ ìforúkọsílẹ̀ ètò yìí ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti June oṣù kẹfà ọdún tó kọjá. It is a unit where you can vote during the election that are very close to your area. When you come to our office or at the various 20 local governments in Ogun State, they will explain all these criteria to you. Please, we are imploring you to come out and register. And those that have registered before, there are other things that you can do. We started this program since June 2021 and it will end by June 2022. So we are employing everybody, our voters women, to come out and register. For those of you that have missing cards, you can also come to our office and complain. They will collect your details and a new card will be issued out to you. For those of you that are relocating from one place to another, come to our office and do your registration.
The Teachers Registration Council of Nigeria has announced plans to train 45,000 teachers on digital literacy and remote learning across the country. In a statement in Abuja, the registrar of the council, Josiah Ajiboye, explained that the training, which is in partnership with the United Nations International Children's Fund, is the third phase of the Global Partnership for Education. Ajiboye added that the first stage of the project is the training of 480 master trainers who will serve as facilitators during the program. Ajiboye further stressed that the training is aimed at bridging the gap created by the outbreak of the pandemic that severely affected the education system of the country.
Is embarking on digital literacy training and remote learning for 30,000 teachers across 16 focal states, namely Benue, Bauchi, Ebonyi, Enugu, Gombe, Jigawa, Kaduna, Kebbi, Katsina, Plateau, Taraba, and Zamfara states. It is important to note that the lead role of the teacher training subcommittee of the GPE program was ceded to the council by the Federal Ministry of Education under the leadership of the Honorable Minister Malam Adamu. The training, which is designed to take place in 4 tranches, will take place between 21st and 26th February 2022 in Benue, Enugu, Kaduna, and Sokoto State. That's the first tranche. The first tranche will take place in 4 states. And the states are Benue, Enugu, Kaduna, and Sokoto State. And it will take place simultaneously. Each tranche of the training is involving 7,500 teachers. We have expressed, TRCN has expressed its view. We frown at the activities of some of these teachers in private schools in Nigeria because the tendencies that we are witnessing from teachers in private schools, they are not palatable at all, and we are not happy at the level of TRC. And this is what we have been saying, talking about teacher professionalism. Largely, a large number of teachers in private schools are not qualified to be teachers. And they are not even teachers. They are not teachers. And that is the reality. They are not, because they are not registered with us. Okay? Unlike teachers in public school, where we say that 83% of teachers in public school are qualified and they are registered with TRCN. Teachers in private school are not qualified. They are not. When we did a census of private school teachers in the Southwest, look at Southwest, we discovered that, you know, a large percentage of them, about 80-something%, are not even qualified to be in the classroom.
In another development, the Nigerian Army, Nigerian Air Force, Nigerian Correctional Service and the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, supported a proposal by the Senate to increase the number of justices of the Court of Appeal from 90 to 110. Speaking during a hearing on the bill, the Chief of Army Staff, Farouk Yahya, said the increase in the number of justices is in accordance with extant laws. Also speaking, the chairman of the Senate Committee on Judiciary, Human Rights and Legal Matters, Okpayemi Bamidele, said the bill will increase the number of justices to allow for the creation of more divisions of the court. According to him, the bill will bring the court closer to litigants in order to ensure speedy disposal of cases and to declog the docket of the court.
Then we have the Court of Appeal, which is so crucial to us. The Court of Appeal Bill seeks to amend the Court of Appeal Act 2013 by increasing the number of justices of the Court of Appeal to from 90 to 110. Having juxtaposed the bill with the Court of Appeal Amendment Act 2013, the Nigerian Army opines that the amendment of Section 1 of the Principal Act is in accordance with extant laws, and the Nigerian Army further advocates for the appointment of retired service personnel from the legal services of the armed forces to the Court of Appeal to serve as assessors.
Primarily seeks to amend the Court of Appeal Amendment Act 2013 by simply increasing the number of justices of the court from the present 90 to from the present 91 and to 110 justices to allow for creation of more divisions of the court, appointment and elevation of judges from the lower courts to the appeal court, and bring the court closer to litigants in order to ensure speedy disposal of cases and to declog the docket of the court. The court also exercises appellate jurisdiction to the exclusion of any other court of law in Nigeria over decisions of lower courts.
The Edo State chapter of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC, today clamped down on fuel stations ordering fuel and those selling above the approved pump price of 165 naira. Fuel stations selling above 165 naira pump price were made to revert to not more than the 165 naira, as the majority of the fuel stations were selling at between 205 naira and 220 naira per litre. The state commander of the Corps, Ania Konwuduayab, told newsmen that the clampdown became imperative as the actions of the fuel stations and their owners were creating artificial scarcity in the state. The African Union, through its president Macky Sall, has called on European countries to return Africa's artifacts in their possession. Sall mentioned this in a speech at the ongoing European Union-African Union Summit in Brussels. He said that the restitution of African works remains a matter of high priority because they are part of Africa's civilizational identity. His position is also part of the 8 proposals from the African leaders as contribution to the new partnership with Europe. Sall's call reinforces the stance of the African people on the ruins of colonialism and the clamor for the return of their stolen heritage. Ahead of the All Progressives Congress February 26 National Convention, The party's National Stakeholder Supporters Forum has asked the party leadership and other critical stakeholders to save the party from imminent collapse by avoiding candidates' imposition during convention. The group gave the charge during an interactive meeting with a national chairmanship aspirant, Tanko Almakura. In a statement by its national leader, Yusuf Ardo, the group said it is imperative that the party comes out of the convention solid and well prepared for the 2023 general elections. The forum also asked the party leadership to learn from the misfortunes of the People's Democratic Party (PDP), which it said was caused by the impunity of its leaders in the candidate selection process. Also speaking at the occasion, the national women leader of the forum, Vivian Soni Young, said women, youths and people living with disabilities should be included in all the party structure and governance processes. Now to end the news, another look at the major items. Osibajo advocates stricter sanctions for unnecessary court adjournments and delays, says it is a waste of taxpayers' money. Human Rights Writers Association of Nigeria tells Inspector General of Police to disband police checkpoints in Southeast. Benue government says plan to access funds for immunization in the state is almost complete. Bajabiamila says National Assembly remains committed to empowering young Nigerians. That ends news round.